Today we're going to show you how to set up Report Center in DocAve. The first thing I want to do is to navigate to the Report Center module. The next thing I'm going to need to do is hop into my settings specifications for Report Center. Once my settings load, the very first thing I need to do to get started to set up Report Center is to hop into the Audit Controller by selecting the Audit Controller option at the top of the screen. Then I'll need to build a plan. I can choose the form mode to see all my options very clearly. Next, I'll need to name my plan. I'm going to call this the Audit for Reporting. The next thing I'll need to do is to choose the areas in Sharepoint that I wish to apply my auditing. Here, I'm going to choose one site collection within my Sharepoint 23 production farm. Once I've selected that area to audit, I can then choose which activities I wish to audit from the DocAve side of the application. Here, I'm just going to select everything so that I can have lots of data to pull from. Now, I do have the ability to apply a filter to choose specific areas within that site collection that I've chosen, or any scope that I select on the left-hand side. The next thing I'll need to do is to configure that auditing for Sharepoint on a schedule. I'm going to configure it to schedule at 10 p.m., which will actually be at 20 hours, and I'm going to schedule it to run every day. I'm doing this so that I'm pulling my auditing data during non-peak work hours. Now, to get visitor information, who visited and viewed a Sharepoint site and who viewed a document within Sharepoint, in some cases, I'll need to retrieve the Iis Logs. So here, I'm going to choose my options around retrieving the logs. I'm also going to set that on a schedule, but I'm going to start that at 18 hours or 8 p.m. and set that to run every day so that I'm pulling my Iis logs before I pull my Sharepoint logs so that both aren't running at the same time. Next thing I'm going to do is to save and apply this rule to Sharepoint. Saving and applying the rule will start the schedule so that the job begins at the time selected by the schedules. Then the solution will pull the audit information from Sharepoint. The next thing I'll need to do to get started with Report Center is to set up my data collection. To configure the collector, simply select the collector, select the Edit option, and then choose the schedule based around the options you have. Then save your options. To view the settings and options or disable or enable collectors, select the Profile option, and then you're given the ability to view the scope where these options are enabled, and then the ability to enable or disable the collector. What you're doing with the data collection is actually filtering the raw audit data that DocAve is pulling from Sharepoint so that it can actually be used by the different kinds of reports. You can see the collector is essentially the filter for that audit data to be used by the report. From this screen, or also from the screen where you're generating the report, you can select the Collect Now button to go ahead and pull and sort the audit data for the solution to generate reports. This is how to get started and set up Report Center in DocAve. Thanks for watching.